Statement victory for the Purdue Boilermakers. 87-80 was the final. This was a back and forth affair between two really, really good teams. I think two of the best teams in the country. I called it the goods in the middle of the first half. Just a high level basketball game. I think everyone watching this realized that. Like it felt like kind of the college basketball community was coming together to be like, this is fun. Stylistic contrast between the way Alabama wants to run and bomb threes, Purdue's ability to win in the paint, how good they were on the boards, but slowing down tempo. It was just a fun basketball game. There's so much to talk through from this. Trey Kaufman-Wren's return. I have a lot to say about this. He was brilliant. 19 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists in 34 minutes, battling through some lingering, I think, hip issues and or cramps, lower body. I don't know. He went to the bench late, still came back onto the court to close it out and had a few huge rebounds late. Braden Smith, National Player of the Year favorite, lived up to every bit of the expectation of him in this game. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. We texted him after because we're going to record the Running Point pod tonight. We wanted to wait until after Alabama. That was his choice earlier in the week. And we were just like, man, congrats. It was amazing. And what's becoming a common theme whenever we text him something like that, he hits us back like, thanks. Few more of my shots could have fallen, but other than that, it was pretty good. I'm like, dog, you just had 29, 7, and 4. And the first thing you say is like, damn, I didn't shoot well.
I
That
mean,
kid's
I,
special. He
I
was
mean,
amazing.
was he lying though? Like true, like honestly, can I get greedy for 7 seconds here?
He
I
hit
need
5 of
verbal. I
10
need verbal
threes.
confirmation. I can get greedy for 7 seconds.
Go ahead and get greedy.
40 was on the table, dog. There was some real good looks. There was some real good. A 40 ball was within reach.
He hit 5 of 10 threes. I think this was an A game at minimum from Braden Smith. If it wasn't an A plus, that's crazy. Good stuff from Clough. 11 rebounds, 1 point away from a double double. Daniel Jacobson, or as the announcers were calling him, Duncan Daniel, were just flying around catching alley oops. Omar Meyer had a stretch in this game where he had a flurry of 7 points. Timely stuff from CJ Cox and Jakari. It wasn't their best game, but there were impact plays from both. Fletcher Lawyer lost a tooth. That's crazy. And then he was still in the tunnels yelling "Roll Tide" after this one. So, look, an all-around feel-good win from Purdue. On the flip side, Alabama had one of the more impressive wins of the season against St. John's. I don't think we want to take anything away from what this Alabama team is. There might be some questions for who they are physically on the boards, on the interior. Nate Oates had a lot of criticism for his own team and their toughness or lack of it after this game. But man, Phylon is really, really good. And Purdue did some really, really disruptive things to frustrate Phylon in this game. Ultimately, for the third consecutive time, Matt Painter goes toe to toe with Nate Oates and emerges victorious in a big reminder of who Purdue is type victory here. What was your biggest conclusion from this game, Cart?
I mean, at first thing you got to start it off with like it was high level hoops, truly high level hoops. A game that if you tuned into it as a fan of college basketball, it was like you said, it was the goods, man. Braden going off, TKR going off. On the other end, Aiden Holloway had a stretch where he could not miss in this basketball game. There was really moments from both teams and both sides in this basketball game. And in the end, the preseason National Player of the Year, probably the best closer in the sport too, if we want to have that conversation as well, said, "Yeah, it's about that time though. Like this is fun. Yeah, it's 79 to 80." But I got things to do. You know what I'm saying? I got places to be. Let's go ahead and it's winning time. Get out of my way. I got y'all. I got us. And they did so. And that last like 4 minute stretch, I know we'll get to it for Purdue when we get to it, but it was perfect. Whether it was Braden scoring or TKR in the short roll, then he hits Jacobson for the alley-oop. I think everything about the execution down the stretch for Purdue was impressive. And look, Bama is a team that lives and dies, and analytically it makes sense to like they want threes and at the rim, right? they did not stop shooting threes in this basketball game. They missed a good amount. Some of them you could constitute as good looks, but at the end of the day, when you live and die by it, and they went on a very cold stretch, I think, in that second half. And credit to Purdue, I thought they did some good things defensively as well. Um, I think Purdue was just able to do more winning plays when it came to closing time.
Yeah, I mean, this was a tie game, what, with 2 minutes left?
Yeah, I mean, look, it look. I mean, I remember the last like stretch of this. I think it was Phylon had a pretty wide open look, just did not hit it. Braden comes down.
Did,
I think it was either Bowen or someone else. Like, well, even before that, Bowen like kind of drop coverage or Sherelle drop coverage. They didn't get over that screen fast. So they tried to put like Amari Allen on him too to like get the size on him, disrupt them a little bit. And yeah, that drop coverage was food, and that's basically
yeah.
what happened in that situation. So it came down to Purdue guys making more plays in that moment, and I think everyone had moments in this game. Obviously, we brought up Braden and TKR. You know, Braden had foul trouble in the first half, and TKR was dominant in the first half.
Yeah.
Legit, could not be stopped. Could
Yep.
not be stopped. Best rebounding game I've ever seen from TKR. If I'm missing another one, then I'm sorry about that, but that is the best rebounding game and rebounding effort I have seen from TKR in a Purdue uniform. And they dominated this game on the glass, truly.
Yeah, it was a really fun game, high level game, like I said, because, I thought Purdue was decisively the better team for the whole game, right? It wasn't like Alabama was ever up eight or, Purdue was playing from behind. Purdue played this game on their terms. They controlled it. They were almost always like slightly ahead, and it was Alabama on their heels trying to catch them. And give Alabama credit, they didn't go away. In the end, Purdue just had bigger plays, bigger responses from their leaders, from their winners. They were quicker to the ball. They dominated the boards. We'll talk through that. But, it's one of those things where I come off of this being like, wow, so impressed with Purdue. They played that game on their terms. They controlled it. It was a flawless game plan. They executed. The Stars played A plus level. And then I also like slept on this and came back to it this morning. And I was like, damn, I feel that way, and I'm pretty impressed. Bama had the ball tied with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, well, they're always in. I mean, that's the thing. When you shoot threes, you're truly never out of a basketball game. Like they strung together two stops in a row and hit
Yeah,
back-to-back threes, and they're right back in it. That's really how they're able to operate. It's what makes the NATO's offense so good
yeah,
is that you put pressure on the rim, and then also you shoot the three, shoot the
yeah.
three ball,
Right,
everyone. So
right.
it
But
works.
it's weird because like, look, I'm not trying to like be weird. We're gonna go on a huge rampage of praise for Purdue individually and as a team in a moment. But like, I don't know. After sleeping on this and coming back, and I rewatched it this morning. Like, I really don't recall too many games where I've come off it in real time being like, wow, that team was like dominant. And then think about it, and I'm like, this was a coin flip away from like a totally different narrative at the end of it. Like,
Mhm.
because I feel like Purdue played amazing and really was clearly the better team and dominated much of this game. And really, Alabama almost won. And like, if just the late game plays went different, I don't even know what my talking points are. Because I do think we were like dangerously close to like, that was TKR's A plus game. Braden played an A. Everybody was great. Everybody chipped in. And whoa, Alabama still won. Like,
Well, to me, when I look at that, that's just too high. That's hoop.
it's two really good teams.
It's
Yeah.
two really good teams, and when two really good teams play, like both teams cannot win. And you can break it down to like a play here or a play there, but don't get it twisted. This was a great game by Purdue. Bama's still a good team. Bama's
Yeah, I will
really
say this.
good.
Bama's at 24 on Ken Palm, which feels at minimum 14 spots too low.
Mm.
This has to be a top 10 team. Don't you agree with that or no?
I agree 100% because if we came on here, we took the Bama angle of this, like their best. Like I said, Purdue did great things defensively. The Baron Fine has been like one of the better guards in America thus far, and he didn't play like he usually plays.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. All right. I just want to get that established because, like, we're still early enough in the season. We're kind of trying to figure out who all of these teams are. And I think Bama's a lot better than the analytics say. To my eyes, that win over St. John's was amazing. I don't think this was Bama's best night. I thought it was entirely Purdue forced that this was not Bama's best night. And like ultimately to go into a team I view as a top 10 team in the country and beat them really wire to wire the way Purdue controlled this game, even if they flirted with like, wow, it's tied late. I'm just so impressed with what Purdue did. But yeah, on the rewatch, I just kept being like, damn, I can't believe Bama was in this. And ultimately, like you said, just a high level game. On the Purdue side, let's just start the praise train because I got so many things to kind of unfold here. I think this has to start with the return of Trey Kaufman-Renn. Ken Palm MVP for TKR. 19 points, 15 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, 5 assists. That's one more than Braden had. 2 turnovers. That's one less than Braden had. TKR did not commit a foul in this game. TKR hit a 3 in this game, attempted 2 of them. Look, I don't even care about the scoring or the offensive stuff or the jumper. That was cool. To me, this was the best game of Trey Kaufman-Renn's career.
Mhm.
And I don't think it was particularly close. And I know he's had 30-point games. I know he's had dominant offensive performances that have looked different and better than this. I think he had 2 points in the second half, 17 in the first half. I tweeted it at halftime. I said, I've seen good TKR halves. I've seen great TKR halves. That was a flawless Trey Kaufman-Renn first half. He set the tone for the entire game. He was the reason Purdue was dominating the boards almost single-handedly early. I have not ever seen him so aggressive on the boards. I have not ever seen him just point blank so productive and successful in grabbing those boards on the defensive end and
Yeah.
the offensive end. It was
Yep.
everywhere. He was everywhere in this game. He was killing Alabama on short rolls. I mean, he was like would catch and then those dump downs to the bigs. Like they finally looked like they had chemistry with Clough. He was just brilliant, and he only scored 2 points in the second half. I thought Alabama adjusted nicely to him. Obviously, he was kind of going through the re-aggravation of whatever injuries going on. But given the circumstances of this, given how Purdue has looked without him, given the opponent, the spot, all of it, I truly believe he was the best player on the floor tonight. I've never in my life watched a Purdue game and felt that Trey Kaufman-Renn was the best player on the floor. And that's no disrespect to him on nights when he's had 30. I've just always viewed it through the lens of Braden's dominating the game. And Braden did dominate this game. But TKR impacted this more than anyone to me. And I'm in awe of it. I think this was obviously a big win for TKR believers, as they will loudly let you know. And as a program that has come on here and been vocally critical of him throughout his career, I'm really just so impressed with this because it's never been this good in the non-scoring areas of the game. And this was everything. His fingerprints in all ways. He touched the basketball court in this game. He was a 10 out of 10. Brilliant. I'm amazed.
Yeah, I think even in the preview, we pinpointed the fact that TKR needed to play in this basketball game because there's no one on Bama's front court that could handle him. Right. And I think we brought that up offensively, but I like you said, I think in awe is the best word to use because I've never seen TKR rebound like that. Truly. Like he was flying all over the place. Like the offensive glass stuff was impressive to watch in that first half. His energy was something that you just could not ignore. And this deserves this. And I'm sorry, I gotta say this. TKR really came into this game and looked the Alabama front court dead in their eyes and said, "Y'all can't fuck with me." And I know I don't usually cuss on the Purdue portions of this, but like he approached this game that way on all facets of the floor. They tried to put Houston Mallet on him for 3 possessions. It
Mm-hmm.
was 3 buckets. That's one of the more disrespectful things I've seen on a basketball court in a long time. I stood up when I saw that, and I was like, "That's ridiculous." Every time, give him a touch. Um, he was unbelievable in the short roll. He's probably the best, if not the best, in the country in that short roll area. Um, he was special, man, truly. And with Braden being in foul trouble in the first half too, I think Braden only played 13 minutes in the first half. I might be wrong, 18 minutes. I don't know.
I think it was
It might have been
13, or he was off the floor for 6 minutes, I want to say.
6 minutes. Yeah, so like there was a pretty long stretch where he was off the floor, and we'll talk about Omar Meyer, what he did in that time and in his minutes. But TKR was absolutely incredible in this basketball game, truly. And I think it's like you said, it's the best game I've seen him play in a Purdue uniform.
To me, by far the best game of his career. And again, I mean, what, 19 points given last year is probably on the low end of his scoring. Like, I don't even care about the scoring. And he had a dominant scoring first half. His touch was impeccable. It's all there still, but he was so good, man. I'm so impressed. I truly am. And I feel like there's some, I don't know, you probably saw this too, but just some dialogue after the end of this of like, and you guys really thought TKR wouldn't save the rebounding. Yeah, we didn't, because he's never rebounded like this. I mean, the question is now, is this going to be sustainable? Is this going to be every night? If it
That
is,
that's what's so exciting. If I'm a Purdue fan, this is a one game sample size, but if this is any implication of what's to come rebounding wise, like I think you're gonna be good. Like I'm not saying it's gonna be completely fixed because nothing like it's not like, oh, do this, insert this, everything about that is gone. But like the games of getting beat on the glass or being even with Oakland are over if this is gonna happen, right? And that's a great thing for Purdue basketball.
yeah. I would say a couple things on this as I rewatched the game specifically through a TKR lens this morning. That's why I wanted to go back, because my hypothesis as I went to bed last night was that was the best game of TKR's career. And I wanted to really watch it again and only watch Trey. And I did. Yes, wholeheartedly believe this was the most across the board in every way impactful game of his career. Just some things that I think back that up. So he had 15 rebounds, Cart. He had 8 offensive rebounds. That's a career high for him in offensive rebounds. People were kind of pointing back to that the year where he played the four with Edie and kind of saying, well, yeah, the reason he's rebounding well again is because he's back at the four. He rebounded well 2 years ago at the four too. He never rebounded like this at the four 2 years ago. He never sniffed 15 rebounds in a game or 8 offensive rebounds in a game that year. And you can say it's like minutes. He didn't play that many minutes that year. Fine, whatever. Like, this is a one game sample size, to be clear. But what he just did in this one game is so far ahead of what he has ever done in his career. It's not the norm. And that's why he deserves so much credit for it. But you look at this, like, he had a 25.7 offensive rebounding rate last night. That is 14% higher than both of the last 2 seasons. And 11% offensive rebounding rate's pretty good. This dude rebounded one of every 4 Purdue misses on his own last night.
Hmm.
That is elite. It's not something he's ever done. And I think it's okay to say that. Like, even if you did believe TKR coming back was going to fix the rebounding problem, I don't think anyone envisioned it would be this dominant, because that wasn't just we're good, we're holding up well on the boards. This was like we are punking a top 10 team on the boards. And it's entirely due to Trey Kaufman-Renn. We can give some credit to other guys too, but even defensive rebounding, he pulled down 20% of the defensive rebounds yesterday. That's 5% higher than he ever has in a season in his career. So across the board, that was a level on the boards TKR has not ever put out, ever. And it looked deliberate. It looked intentional. It was there from the very first possession. It was there the very last possession. And all we can do is tip our cap and give him flowers, because it was amazing. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come. Then you tack on the fact that he had those 5 assists to 2 turnovers. I mean, his passing was all over this game as well. I think Bama at times wanted to get the ball out of Braden's hands and make TKR make those reads, and he made them flawlessly. And then he gives you 17 points in the first half too. I mean, it was just truly, Cart, to me, I think that's a 100 out of 100 percentile game. I think that is as good as Trey Kaufman-Renn can play, especially when you throw in he hits a corner three too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I'd probably put it at like 97, 97.
Okay.
Just but also to that point, like I thought he was laboring in the second half a little bit, which I think caused his finishing to be a little off. He was
That's
only one
true.
for six in the second half, but also like who cares? Because in the second half he also had 7 boards in a half and 3 assists. So it's like, and you know what? Great part about that is, okay, TKR didn't miss in the first half.
Yeah.
Second half, okay, he's laboring a little bit. He's not maybe hitting like he did in the first half. All right, Braden, now it's your time. Now
Yeah.
it's your time to go get yours, and other guys make timely baskets. And he still made plays and impacted the game without scoring. And I think that's been for me. I guess I'll speak on like the TKR, like not even a TKR skeptic, whatever you want to call it. Outside of scoring, I sometimes wonder like what he can do to maybe make the game go to a further point, right? Extend his impact on the basketball game. This was, like I said, once again, I'll repeat it, the most impactful and best performance I've ever seen from him on the glass, passing the basketball, gritty. I need cramps to stop making themselves the star of the show this college basketball season. Have we talked about that? Cramps are being a real eye guy this season.
Cramps got to chill.
Yeah, like I get it. Like but like we gotta, you give DP some cramps against UNC Greensboro. Okay, that's fine. We'll look the other way. We got a high level game going under 4 minutes left, and we're tied. Two top 10 teams matching up, and you want to go at TKR?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Cramps got to chill.
Cramps got to chill.
That's very true. Cramps got to chill. Yeah, man. I just enjoyed every second of this, and I think people know this if you listen to us for years. Like I in general am would not classify myself as someone who just stylistically, aesthetically enjoys TKR's game. Like I can respect great games from him without being like I love the way he plays. I loved everything about his game tonight. It was amazing. It was like honestly, um, like I found myself physically noticing like, whoa, this is weird how much I'm enjoying watching Trey Hoffman run right now, and he just deserves so much praise for it. I also want to conclude the rebounding portion of this because it went beyond him. He was the headliner. He deserves the most credit for it. But you also had Clough with 11 rebounds, Braden Smith with 7 rebounds. Nate Oates said after the game, their 6-foot point guard had more rebounds than our starting front court combined. I think we're going to do a short on that later today. Um, all in all, added up, let me be a math podcast for a second 52 rebounds to 28 rebounds for Purdue. 19 offensive rebounds to 21 Alabama defensive rebounds. They rebounded almost half of their misses. It has not ever been this good. Again, it was deliberate, it was intentional. And my interpretation after my rewatch of this, tell me if you agree or disagree to this. As much as this was just improved effort, and you've got to give Clough and TKR and the guards and everyone on Purdue improved effort. I think it was improved effort. It also seemed like a tactical change or at least a twist a little bit here. Like to me, this looked like the Purdue staff watched Alabama film, knows that Alabama wants to run,
Mhm.
loves to leak out in transition, and was also looking at who these front court players are in Aiden Sherrill and Taylor Bull Bowen and saying, that's a vulnerability. We can get them. Because to me, what I saw in this game, Purdue, uh, they play slow, right? I think they're a pretty good transition defense as is. But to my eye, Purdue sent more people to the glass in this game
Mhm.
with more aggression. It was just more intentional as a group than it ever has been. And I think in the end, I want to give a little credit to the Purdue coaching staff and Painter because this is now 3 consecutive times he's beaten Nate Oates. And the idea of dominating them on the boards to me is the thing we haven't seen, right? You go back 2 years ago when Purdue beat Alabama 92-86. They did not dominate Alabama on the boards. It was pretty even on the boards. Last season when Purdue beat Alabama, they got out rebounded. So Like I would assume, honestly, it kind of felt like this in real time to me. I think the Alabama bigs were looking around like we thought they didn't rebound, coach. Like, why are they so aggressive on the glass? This isn't the scout. And Nate Oates was looking at his guys like, get a rebound, like nut up and figure it out. To me, this was like a vulnerability the Purdue staff identified, very intentionally sent their entire team to exploit it. And then Clough and TKR and Braden and everybody involved executed on it. Do you think that that's a fair conclusion from me, or do you think this was more just pure effort?
No, I do think that it is. Well, I think it's a credit to Paint and the staff too, because that's also a risk. That's a risk to do it
Sure.
with a team that's not good. You like your team struggles on the glass, right? And if you don't get those offensive rebounds, if you don't dominate the glass like you do, then you're basically giving Bama free reign to run, and you're kind of at a disadvantage there. So there was a risk associated with this, and credit to Paint for I think pulling that card and noticing that like I mean we like I said we pointed it out like you watch that St. John's and Alabama game, the one thing I came away watching that was like they should have dominated more on the glass. They should have went to Zuby Ejiofor more. And in this game, I thought they did a great job of going to TKR, and also there seemed to be a different mindset as far as how you go after the basketball and how you crash the glass. And they challenged Alabama's front court to see if they wanted to meet them at that point of hustle and physicality, and they weren't ready to do that. And I don't know if we want to talk about that on this video or the short we're gonna do, but I do got a quick thing to say about that. If
Yeah,
if
go
I
ahead.
have
Go ahead.
you cannot hand out a construction hat based on hard work and calling yourself a blue collar team and then lose the rebounding battle by 30 and let the point guard out rebound your front court. All due respect to Braden Smith, like I said, that's our guy. He's the best player in the country. Give absolutely zero, you know what's. You don't let a point guard out rebound your front court. It's unacceptable. At home too, that's crazy. I wouldn't be able to live with that if I'm an Alabama fan. That's wild to me, getting dominated on the glass like that, especially when you preach yourself as this program that is like put your hard hat on, get after it. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy work.
Yeah, it is. I Oates, after I listened to the full presser, he was very critical of his team's effort, toughness, but he also said we've been worried about rebounding. Like that they exploited this, give them credit, they deserve it. Since the exhibition, we've been worried about it. Now that's a little surprising to me just because I thought they held up well against St. John's on the boards, right? Like I think that was a pretty even. I want to say Alabama out rebounded St. John's slightly in that game. And St. John's is a very physical team, good rebounding team. So, look, I don't know. Everybody has weird nights, off nights, but to me, clearly, this was like a tactical win for Purdue. It was something they saw on film. They exploited it. It was something out of the norm. Purdue does not normally go after offensive rebounds this aggressively. And I think you have to give credit to the players, the coaches, everyone involved for just a dominant performance on that. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a sign of things to come. If Purdue rebounds like this every game, good luck. But my gut says this was a little bit of an outlier. Even if they're good on the boards, I don't know if they're gonna like out rebound top 10 teams by 20. Is that fair?
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's my Boilermaker engine half full here.
They could.
No, I don't think they need to.
Oh yeah, true.
I don't think you need to like beat this was I don't I'm I'm looking at you, Foreman. I need stats, Cobra stats. I need stats on this rebounding differential in this game against an opponent of this level. It's something special, and I just think it gets to a point where like even if you're Purdue, like you don't have to dominate to this level. You don't have to do it like this, but you can't be getting out rebounded like you have been, I think, or how it's been hurting you in the past. But if you're gonna, like I said, if it's even, I don't know, half of this, quarter of this, you do the math, not a math podcast. I still think you give yourself a very good chance to win games.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Anyways, I'm impressed. I don't know what else we can say about the rebounding. It was amazing. Where do you want to go next? Because I feel like we could go down the list of player performances here for Purdue. I want to get to Omer at some point. I think the center spot once again deserves some discussion. The shooting guard spot probably deserves some discussion. I mean, do we have to table our National Player of the Year favorite though? Should we talk Braden's performance in this game before we get to any of the role players?
What'd he do?
29, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, some daggers late. I mean, when this did get to a tie game, with all due respect to TKR, who was the KenPom MVP, with all due respect to everybody else here, I mean, Braden even waved a couple guys off and said, "Let me go. Give me that space."
Get the F out of my way.
That was his exact words. That's what you're calling it.
There was a moment in this game where Fletch like tried to like kind of do like a little action, and Braden ended up going to the hoop and getting fouled. And he literally looked at Fletch, and I'm pretty sure he mouthed, "Get the F out of my way." Respectfully, of course, because you know what I'm saying, Twinskies. But like he said, "Get the F out of my way," because he knew what time it was. He knew what time it was. He knew it was winning time. And when it gets to that time, like how many times have we seen it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the images of him in Champaign in Terrence Shannon's house with one of the best Illini teams of all time. You can't look at that without looking at the State Farm Center and Braden in the background doing every celebration known to mankind when it comes to winning time. It's give the ball to the best player in the nation. Give the ball to our first team All American. Give the ball to the guy who has the Cousy Award already in his trophy closet. Run it back for year two, by the way. Rename it the Braden Smith Award after this. Like, when it comes down to it, the best point guard in the country, the best player in the country, the player who, by the way, Matt Norlander asked 1,000 coaches and anyone who would answer him, who would you have on your team if you're starting a team right now? And they said, oh, Braden Smith, without taking a second breath. It became that time. And it was that time. It was food. It was making the right play. It was whether it was scoring, getting to the line, rebounding the basketball. He did everything he needed to do in this basketball game. And when it came down to it, they switched Taylor Bowen on him, and it was yeah. What's that one Kobe meme or that Bron meme where he hits this? Yeah, out the way. I need space. Let me work. Got
Yeah,
it, dumbass. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's the game.
it looked to me like throughout this game, they threw a lot of different coverages at Braden. They kind of hard hedged out when he was way beyond the 3 point line just to disrupt him a little. But then they would like send one screen that gets hard hedged, and then they would send a second screen that they would always get stuck in drop in. And I like that because Braden was really aggressive for his shot against the drop, even early in this game. 5 for 10 from three, he was cooking. When he starts to feel his jumper, he's a totally unguardable menace. Like I don't even know what you do with it. And
Yeah, I love the selection from him too, by the way,
it was all smart.
because he loves to get in that like little mid range or even go to that baseline fade, kind of off that drop coverage a little bit. I like the fact that like even if he had an inch of space, he's like, oh yeah, this is going up.
Yeah, it was all smart. And yeah, look, the difference to me in the end of this game was that one side had Braden Smith and one didn't. And LeBaron Philon is a potential All-American. But when you're tied with 2 minutes left and it's now basically our possession versus your possession, what are you going to do? One side had Braden Smith and he closed the game, as we've seen millions of times in his 3 years before this. There's nobody in the sport you would rather have with the ball. There's no one that is going to make a better decision. He can get a bucket on his own. He can get to the line. He can create a wide open shot for somebody else. And I do think there was a level, given the way Bama was guarding him strategically here and schematically, it felt like Braden knew, oh, it's crunch time. Like then this is a I score moment.
Yeah.
Like that was part of the wave it off is like, I'm gonna get us one. It was the right call with how they were guarding him, but he executed it flawlessly, getting to the line. Um, Braden also, I can't wait to ask him about this on Running Point tonight. He was into this one up here. We saw more smiles, more laughs, little looking around at guys at the free throw line. What'd you see there?
Listen, I saw a guy who is was a first team All-American last year, was the best point guard in the country last year, preseason National Player of the Year this year, preseason first team All-American this year, and all I heard was Phylon this, Holloway that. That's all I heard all week. What are Purdue guards gonna do against Alabama guards? We even came on here and said it. We're like, those are two really good guards. Phylon's nasty, and they are too, by the way. But it's levels. It's levels. This isn't an NBA draft board. This isn't Ian Jackson you're staring at on the other side of you. It's Braden Smith. The shit's it's different. It's you know what I'm saying? It's like you think you know, but you really don't know until it's happening right in front of you.
Well, and again, I can't wait to ask about it, but to me, my interpretation of these like smiles and laughs was just Braden almost like he's feeling like a vet right now, right? Like he's feeling like he is controlling the strings of this entire game. And obviously he's a competitor, he's having fun. This was a high level game, but like do you ever feel like for 1 second Braden didn't feel like this entire thing was in the palm of his hands?
Like the entire game.
Yeah, it just like to me, I feel like, we've seen Braden be like demonstrative on the court, obviously like
Oh,
this
yeah. So
celebrations, but
the term I use is I not the term actually double on time. The term I would use is that this game was going to be on Braden Smith's terms.
there was just a new level to me in this game in the big moments of like comfortability from him, of just like nice. Like
Nice.
that's how he was carrying himself this whole game. And I don't think we've seen that. I think we've seen him like excited for big moments and confident in himself and talking shit, but we have not just seen like it's kind of like truly like an unk version of Braden, like a 32-year-old LeBron James who's like just kind of like yeah, cute. Like
What's
it's
that one Brian clip against the Hawks? He gets that and one. Like, come on, man. That's
yeah.
so easy.
Right. Or like when like Lance is like blowing in his, like and he's just standing there smiling. Like Braden has been through it all. He knew what this was. He knew like, okay, we're tied with a minute left. Cool. Smile. I'm gonna get to the line. Like, what did you think? What did you think you were gonna do there? Really? Like I just it's fun to watch, man. It's his personality shining through is as fun to watch as what he did on the court to me in this game. And on the note of fun, I said this in the Discord to some Purdue fans. Maybe the biggest takeaway for me, which should have been abundantly obvious already, but just baseline, bottom line, whatever. We've gone from in a week, hey, this is the national title favorite, number one team in the country, to like, oh, maybe we jumped the gun. They're really good. They can win a national title, but maybe they're like top five. To like, Illinois looks really good. Might be Purdue and Illinois at the top of the Big Ten, not just Purdue as the favorite. Whatever. Regardless of what your expectations are for this team, the team that stepped foot on the court in Tuscaloosa tonight is a team where I don't even care what the results are this season. That's a team Purdue fans will adore. They will love watching every single second of. They can be proud of, right? And not to say they couldn't before this, but I do think, like, it was a slow start to the season. Effort needed to be improved. We talked about it, and Paint talked about it. This version is a team you can live with the results with, wherever this season goes. If they play like that, if they play that hard, if they're smiling and having fun, this is just the version of this team that I think Purdue Nation is just going to be so damn proud of, man, and enjoy from start to finish. And last note, just on the build before we get to the role player stuff, respectfully to all the role players that we're about to talk through. Good reminder in this game, after an entire offseason of dialogue about the new things this team needed and the things that would make the difference at the 5 and at the 2, and how are we going to rebound better, and how are we going to defend better, how are we going to block shots. They had 0 blocks in this game, by the way. Like, all of that is cute and good, and they needed it for sure. At the end of the day, this is the team with 2 All-Americans. At the end of the day, this is the team with Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn, who on most nights, regardless of opponents, should be the two best players on the court. And if those two are going to deliver like this, I care a lot less about what else is going on, right? Because we're really looking at the front court like we need things to cover up when TKR is not playing to his fullest. When TKR does this, I don't think we're worried about anything else, right? Like Fletcher had a quiet game. He barely did anything. He hit 1 3 in this game. We don't care because Braden was an A plus, TKR was an A plus, and I think this just sort of reframed it for me. Like all these questions and concerns. No one's emerged at shooting guard yet. They just need Braden and TKR to play like this, man. And if they do, they're going to
They
be
still
amazing.
need Fletch. They need more from Fletch, though.
You think so?
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't feel that in this game, to be honest with you.
because they won.
Yeah, but there was never a moment in this game where I'm like, damn, I need more Fletcher involvement right now.
I mean, well, I don't think you're gonna think about that in any. I don't think you're gonna think that in any game.
Right. I mean,
But
that's
you
kind of my
need,
point, though.
but you need more from. You need more from him.
Just in terms of makes, like make one more three.
Not even make. I mean, make one more shot. Don't be a cone on the defensive end.
Okay, all right.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I think that you're looking at it this way because they won. That you don't care. But if they would have lost this basketball game, you would have been like, I need something else from my third guy.
I
Where they
just thought
didn't
he
really
missed
get.
his shots. And like the same way I always view Fletch, he's just when he makes his shots, he's amazing. When he misses his shots, he's quiet. I didn't feel at any point in this game they quote unquote needed more. He just missed some open shots.
Okay.
Which yeah, if they lose the game, then I'm like Fletch needs to make those. But
Hmm.
um sometimes shooters miss shots. Like am I worried about Fletch? No. Do I wish they would like move shit to get Fletch more involved? No. He got good
Hmm.
looks. He just missed him in this game.
Fair.
But I don't know. We're in a weird place with Fletch, I feel like. Nobody was mentioning Fletch's performance last night, that's for sure.
I think it's the three of them is where I like I approach this as when the three of them play well, I don't care about the others.
Yeah, okay. Two of them are
You
all Americans and one of them's a great shooter.
so you're just worried about the two of them. I mean,
I would not put Fletch on the level of Braden and TKR as a,
either
like
either either would
they
I
determine this
either
game.
would I, but I'm saying like you need a third guy.
Yeah.
It worked tonight, but you need a third guy.
Okay. All right.
You need more from your senior starting two guard.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Okay. I get your point. He's not gonna average 7 a game this year. He'll be ahead of that. But okay. Moving on. Clough, almost a double double, 1 point away. Was this a turn the corner performance from him?
Yeah, I think so. I do. I thought he played extremely well on the glass. Um, does stats broadcast not break it up by off? I don't like how they don't break down offense and defensive rebounds on this, but yeah, 11 rebounds I think was massive. I mean, you look at what he was able to do, combine that with Jacobson, do the combination, some madness and some badness. You get 18 between the two of those players, and you get 16 rebounds. You'll take that always and forevermore in a day.
Yeah, better chemistry with TKR, it felt like for sure. Now TKR has been missing for 2 games, so like of course he has better chemistry with TKR than like whatever else they were trying to do before this. But I think even going back to the exhibitions, like it kind of looked like they were getting in each other's way, right? In this game, not at all. Feels like Clough knew where to be on the court that wasn't in TKR's way a little better. And there was one turnover where Clough was on the baseline and TKR missed him. And I think TKR threw it behind him. That was really the only time there was a friction between the two.
Yeah. Oh, like it probably should have been a lob.
Yeah, but the rest of the game was, I thought, perfect between those two, and hopefully a very, very direct sign of how these two are going to operate together all season long. Compare it with Jacobson for me because we're going to keep an eye on the center spot all season long. Purdue's front court dominated Bama's in this game. Wouldn't change a thing, I don't think. In the end, Clough plays 24 minutes, almost records a double double, had 11 rebounds. Daniel Jacobson played 16 minutes, matched Clough in points, 9 points, 1 for 3 from the free throw line, but four dunks and layups from Jacobson, and 5 rebounds in his own right. So I think you'll take 9 and 5 from Jacobson in 16 minutes all the time, right? Like production wise, you're not upset with that. And if you add the two's performance together over 40 minutes, Cart, like Payne likes to say, combination, 18 points, 16 rebounds.
Hmm.
That's objectively amazing. To your eyes, was Clough deserving of the larger minute share in this game? Was he better than Jacobson?
I think so. I think that he was. I just think that, you know, Jacobson, I like the finishing a lot better in this one. I thought he played a little bit stronger in the second half, more so than the first half. But Clough just brings that level of like size and width that just like make him a different factor than Daniel Jacobson. Um, I'm gonna drive myself nuts though, Gregory. I really am. Because it's stupid to do this because I love that Jacobson went 4 for 6. But on everything I love, that dude needs to dunk the goddamn basketball. I can't do it, man. He never wants to dunk it. Dunk the ball, please. I love that
Yeah.
he made it. His touch is good. Dunk the ball. That's all I ask. Otherwise, great center combination performance.
Yeah. I think it's just who he is right now. He dunks when he catches oops and lobs. He's not gonna like grab a post touch dribble and turn and dunk right now.
No, but even like when they're throwing it to him in the like it when it there was ones where he was throwing it and catching it high, like
Yeah.
off a pick and roll, and then all he has to do is just dunk it right there. But he kind of does like his little like layup mini little whatever that is. Just
Yeah.
dunk the ball.
Yeah, I hear you. I thought he had a couple like kind of fadeaway e-post moves too in this game. He'll get better. I'm not worried about Jacobson at all. As far as like a backup center goes, he's one of the very best in America. 9 and 5 in 16 minutes as from a backup center is awesome, and you can still see the upside. The one thing I would say, which part of this is the way Bama plays, but zero block shots. I want to see something there. Now, they literally got Bama to take 66% of their shots from three. They attempted 22 twos, 44 threes. By design, I think the Purdue defense did what it was supposed to do, and the bigs were a part of that. They kind of clogged the paint and said, "We'll live and die with the three from Bama in this game. Let's make them shoot all their shots from three." When they did get dribble penetration, I thought both Clough and Jacobson were there to affect things. I think that's part of why Phylon didn't get much in this game. Like when he was downhill, the Purdue bigs were there to disrupt. So, you can have rim protection without blocking shots. With that said, there were 22 twos attempted in this game, and Purdue did not block a shot. Um, do you think the rim protection has been fixed the way the rebounding has from these two? And I guess, are you looking for anything additional there?
I just think in this game you're not going to see it, just because there wasn't as much pressure put on the rim as before. Now maybe there wasn't much pressure put on the rim because those guys were there. I'm not really sure. I think you need to wait maybe a little bit against another opponent, maybe stylistically who's a little bit more interior based, to kind of make a final judgment on that.
Okay. Yeah, to my eye, they really prevented attempts at the rim more so than like altering actual shots at the rim. So to me, it was improved. But it is something I'm watching because I don't really want to see Daniel Jacobson with zero block games. He's just so huge. He should have a few, and didn't in this game, but not a concern because they limited attempts. To the guard spots quickly. I predicted an Omer stretch of this game. It didn't go full CJ Cox 10 in like 4 minutes, but he almost got there. He had a 7 point flurry. I thought these were some of the best minutes of his young career in a Purdue uniform. I also thought Paint really trusted him and went to him in some key spots more than I expected. A few specifically within the game flow. Braden with foul trouble in the first half. It was no question who was going to be on the court. It was Omer. Wasn't experimenting with CJ at point or Jakari. It was just Omer's our backup point if Braden's in foul trouble. Um, Thought he got a lot of minutes alongside Braden in high leverage situations, both in the first and second half of this game in a way he hasn't before. And to me, he earned them with that flurry in the first half and just how involved he was, the way he was moving the ball. It kind of it was like, okay, this is a big game, and Omer's playing well. And
Mm.
Paint kind of on the fly was like, I'm gonna reward that, even at the expense of maybe Jakari, who only played 15 minutes in this game, or Cox, who I thought was really quiet in 23 minutes in this game. So, did you share the same interpretation of this as I did? That this was a slight step forward and a sign of trust that Matt Painter feels with Omer to kind of give him those opportunities in this game?
Yeah, I do. And I have this like theory in my head I want to throw by you as well. Do you think that helped Braden at the end of the game too a little bit?
Yeah, I do
Like
think he was fresher. Yeah.
because I think there's a moment in that spot, and that's why I was so impressed by Omer, even outside of his production, that things didn't fall off a cliff. Because I think there's a point that maybe even Paint was like, "Oh man, I can't let this slip away. If it's gonna completely fall off in these non-Braden minutes, I need to get him back in there and just tell him not to foul." But I think that Omer earned the trust in that spot to kind of just keep things the way they were, and maybe that led to when it got to the end of the game, Braden was ready to go. He was good. He was good. Like he only played 34 minutes. That's light for him. He's a 40 a game guy. So, um, yeah, I think in a big spot, a freshman on the road in Alabama, top 10 team against a really good front court for him to have that moment, that stretch that he had was pretty impressive. And yes, I think it does show the trust that Payne had of him in that spot.
Yeah. Yep. I just thought this was like a big step forward for like what his role expansion could be. I thought in a big game against a big opponent, Meyer had a stretch and then Paint rewarded it. It was like, I'm going to go back to you. And sign of things to come because to me, if he keeps playing well, you can see it expand even more. Beyond Meyer, Cox, and Harris, what did you see from those two? Harris hit a three. That's great. Just shoot your threes, I guess. He has the yips around the rim right now. He made a beautiful move off the dribble with a spin and then just smoked a wide open layup. It's now back-to-back games with missed shots at the rim that were basically uncontested from him. And while Harris is struggling with that, I still think there's an argument Harris looks better than Cox because man, Cox. Look. I know C.J. Cox is a good player. He had 14 against Oakland. Like I know he's a Big Ten caliber player. I more maybe more than even Omer and Jakari. I have no questions about C.J. Cox at this level, but he's given really empty minutes. Probably 80% of the time we've seen him from the exhibitions into this game. And he got the most minutes between him, Meyer, and Harris. I mean, he didn't make mistakes, but I really felt that he just didn't contribute. Am I misinterpreting that at all to you? Or I don't know what we do with this.
Yeah, I just think that it's, with Jakari specifically, it looks like a player that is questioning himself a little bit when he plays. Like he's a player that is he can make these shots. He can make shots, he can make layups. It seems like he's thinking about it. You use the yips word. I think it's a player that has had some struggles early on leading up into this game and is now getting to a point where he's thinking about it too. He's in his head a little bit too much. CJ, I think obviously like he does some things on the defensive end of the floor, but like, it's just I don't know. It seems like he's trying to figure out what his role is on this basketball team somewhat. Like, do they want him to shoot? Do they want him to just, you know, do other things? Like, if you don't want him to shoot, then what is he necessarily giving you? I know he has shown he can rebound pretty well in the past, but like, just kind of, you combine those two guys, you get what, 38 minutes out of those two? Is that what it was? Yeah, 38 minutes. Pretty empty 38 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it just needs to be one guy game to game, but it's at least starting to stick in my head that I'm a bit surprised it's not CJ Moore. I'm surprised the guy that is starting isn't the guy that is contributing more consistently. and maybe that'll change. But to me, like I feel like we saw really good CJ Cox a lot down the stretch of last season. We're not seeing it a lot to start this season. Not worried about it, but paying attention to it because I thought Omer was really good. Thought he was better than CJ. And I thought Paint turned to Omer, sometimes at the expense of CJ in this game. So will be something to watch, a battle going forward. Jack Benter, speaking of quiet, first quiet Benter game of his Purdue career. He's been largely amazing stepping in for TKR. In this game, only 6 minutes, one offensive rebound and a foul, zero shot attempts, nothing of note from Benter. I don't want to even float the idea that like this could be a concerning performance. I said this in the Discord, but to me, as good as Benter has been, you can't expect a true freshman in his first road game, or not a true freshman, but a freshman in his first true road game to come in and like have some crazy impact. Had he done anything noteworthy to me in this game, it would have been a pleasant surprise. And that's not hate on Benter. It's just like as good as he was, let's rein this in. He's the eighth guy on this team, if not the ninth guy on this team. He's going to play very spot minutes and hopefully contribute something. When he doesn't, I don't think it needs to be a red flag, but this is a data point that he's not going to be amazing every single game. What'd you see from Benter in his limited time?
Yeah, he's the backup four to a potential first team All American. So, if in a perfect world he plays 6 minutes a game,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what you want. So, uh, I don't know. I don't think it has to be like a game to game thing. Like, what did he do? I just think it's like you know, he had some good performances against the first two games when they played, what was it, Oakland and IU Indy or Evansville, whatever it might be. Um, but yeah, like TKR's back. Whatever you get from the backup four in the time he plays is just kind of whatever minutes, not to diminish it, but like you just hope that he gives you something. He really didn't give you anything in 6 minutes, but it doesn't. It's not going to affect or swing games.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all. I just also didn't expect anything special from him in six
One
minutes.
thing I would watch though, or maybe even put forward in front of you right here, if Purdue's going to rebound like this, one of the big ads of Bencher is he helps rebounding. Like, do we see like Murphy getting a shot at some more backup 4 minutes?
He got a DMP here. I don't know. I don't know. It feels like they're just not going to go there. I'd like to see it because I like Liam Murphy, but I'm not going to be loudly vocal about it if they don't.
Just get TKR and Ivy.
There's also only that's the thing. There's only 6 minutes to go around, so we can't like try two different guys for 6 minutes between them. You know, like we kind of gotta pick one. And if this continues from Benter, maybe you try Murphy, but he'll be better. It was
Yeah,
fine.
I don't even want to pick one. Just go ahead, give it to the next person and double it. I just just give TKR his minutes.
Sure. Anything else on this game on either side? We didn't hit much on Bama, but sorry, Bama. There was a lot to talk about with Purdue, and you
Yeah, I
guys.
mean, look, if I'm a Bama fan, you lost to one of the best teams in the country when your All-American guard didn't play well, and you could have easily won this basketball game. Even your veteran guys like Wrightsell didn't necessarily play well in this basketball game either. The front court's an actual thing though that needs to be figured out, and I don't know what you necessarily do. If I'm Bama, I don't know. Like maybe you go like a little. It feels weird to say this, but like. I think Amari Allen's a better rebounder than a lot of the guys in your front court. So maybe go a little bit small and pick whatever five you want. But I just think that, you went out in the portal and Williamson was supposed to be the answer and he's not. And now that leaves you in a spot where your front court is lacking. But we wouldn't even be talking about the front court if your back court played a little bit better, mainly Phylon and Wrightsell, and you could have still won this game.
Yeah, I mean, it was there for the taking. They shot 36% from three. Do you think Bama was happy with their shots? Because I think probably they're okay
Yeah.
with taking 44 threes.
Yeah, I think Oates pointed out I'm mad at the rebounding. I have no problem with shot selection.
Yeah.
And it kind of like even like listening to like you heard the announcers during this game, they're like, you know what, Bama could I get it. Like that's the thing. That's what they want to do. Maybe they should do something else.
Yeah,
No, no, that's what they do.
right,
It's what they do, and it analytically is sound. And you
right,
lost again, and you lost again against, like I said, just play. It's a play better situation to me. Make a shot situation, not a like you know, stop shooting threes.
right. Yeah, I think if you're Bama, you go away from this game feeling like you let one slip because you're looking at Purdue like they played really well, and you're looking at yourself like we didn't, and we were still right there. Like we got punked by a team we didn't expect to get punked by physically, and this was tied with 2 minutes left anyway.
Hmm.
And if we made one more three, we might have stolen it. Like it's a missed opportunity. It really is a missed opportunity. They also objectively did not deserve to win. And I think Nate Oates agrees with that. They
Hmm.
did not make the hustle plays.
It would have been them. It would have been them stealing one.
Yeah, 100%. But I like I said, I come away from this thinking Bama's a top 10 team. I think they got to figure out the front court. But those guards are nasty. Holloway was amazing.
Yeah, Holloway's good. He was cooking that drop coverage.
Yep. Paying our own Nate Oates. Can we comfortably say that at this point? 3 straight wins for Purdue against Alabama.
Yeah, three straight makes it. Yeah, one, two, three, you're out.
If I'm Nate Oates, I don't think I'm scheduling Purdue anymore.
Nah, he will.
Does he like losing to Purdue? Is this like a teach my team a lesson type thing?
But the thing is, like, it goes back to this. He could have won this game.
Yeah, I think there's other games you can win. I wouldn't want to deal with these dudes anymore. I don't want to play Purdue in the Ertl era, man.
I think they'll be fine playing him in the early era.
I don't. I don't.
Bad man gone. Two bad man gone.
New bad man arrive.
He ain't that bad.
Intestinal fortitude, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Houston Millette didn't have that in this game. Congratulations, Purdue. Amazing win. Purdue fully back.
They're back.
Just back, not fully back.
We one game sample size
You just can't ever like fully go there with anything. Like
because we do this. Like we'll be fully back. They'll lose the next game. We'll be like, oh, we're fully out. It's just like it's a one game sample size. Let's see what happens.
it was an amazing performance. Shout out to the Boilers in the stands, guys. By the way, I watched their post game. They crushed it. Fun to see them happy after a win like that. They also gave us some really nice compliments. So thank you to Craig and Greg and Joe and all the Boilers in the Stands team for giving us some love last night. Lastly, we had a tweet from Andrew Collier who said, "What's the over/under on the Purdue Bama post-game video length?" I'm going 56 minutes. I set the over at -115. Did we cash the over here?
Yes.